Hello and welcome to this slow yoga flow for tight hips and shoulders. Let's begin in seated position on the mat. You can close your eyes if that feels good to you, and put your hands on your knees and take a couple deep breaths. On your inhale, expand your chest outward, lifting your chin up, and exhale your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Do a few more breaths like this on your own. And on your next inhale, lift your arms up overhead and lift your chin up as if you're gazing at your fingertips. And then exhale your right hand down to the ground and reach across your mat with your left hand. Turn your gaze upward and take some deep breaths here, using your breath to expand the space on your right side. And come back to center, taking a deep breath in, lift both arms up overhead, turning your gaze towards your fingertips. And exhale your left hand to the ground, reaching all the way to the left side with your right hand, palm facing down. Take a deep breath in and expand your chest so that your right shoulder opens up to the ceiling. And release, coming back to center. Lift both of your hands up to the sky, taking a deep breath in and lifting your chest as well. And exhale, hands to heart center. One more deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead. And then exhale your right hand behind you and your left hand on your right knee. Use your breath to expand your chest. And lift your chin so that it's parallel to the ground. Release, coming back to center. Big breath in, lifting your hands up overhead. And now drop, on your exhale, drop your left hand behind you and your right hand on your left knee for a big deep twist. And release, coming back to center. Now take your right hand and put it out to your side at a 45-degree angle. And take your left hand and reach it up and over your head, and grabbing your right ear with your left hand, and gently tilt your head towards your left shoulder. And now with your right hand, make figure 8 shapes with your wrist, or any shape you want really. Just play around in that space and see where the stretch is for you. Gently release your left hand to your lap and bring your head upright. Now bring your right arm up parallel to the ground and flex your hand, palm facing outward, so you're pulling your fingertips towards your head. And now take your head and drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Now turn your gaze towards the ground, tucking your chin in towards your chest. And then with your left ear still towards your shoulder, begin to turn your gaze upward, lifting your chin away from your chest. Move very slowly. And release your right hand down to your lap, lifting your head back upright. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest upward. Exhale, shoulder blades together and down your spine. Tuck your chin towards your chest. And now make semicircles with your head, bringing your ear over to your left shoulder, and then tucking your chin toward the center of your chest, and then bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Move through this at your own pace, and listen to your neck. Do what feels good for you. Don't push it if it hurts. And come back to center, gently lifting your head upright. Now take your left hand and stick it out to the side at a 45-degree angle, and then your right hand, bring it up overhead and bring your fingertips to your left ear, gently tilting your head to the right. Now make those figure eights with your left hand in the air, playing with where your arm is. Bring it up a little bit or back a little bit. See where the stretch is for you. Gently release your right hand to your thigh and bring your head upright. Now bring your left hand up so that your arm is parallel to the ground, and pull your fingertips towards your head so that your palm is facing outward. Now tuck your chin towards your chest, and then bring your right ear over to the right shoulder. Hold here a little bit. Now turn your chin up towards the ceiling as much as is comfortable, and then bring it back towards your chest, all while keeping your right ear towards your right shoulder. Move through that slowly. And release your left hand to your lap and bring your head upright. Take a deep breath in, lifting your right hand up overhead, and then bring your right hand to between your shoulder blades. Now you can either take your left hand and hold it, or hold your right elbow with your left hand, or you can reach your left hand behind you underneath and reach for your right hand between your shoulder blades. You can grab a strap, so that way if you can't reach your hands, then you can grab onto something. Use your breath to expand your chest, lifting it up and opening your shoulders as you are in this bind. And release your hands to your lap. Shake your arms out a little bit. Now taking a deep breath in, lift your left arm up overhead and reach your hand between your shoulder blades. And then whatever you did on the first side, you could do it on this side. Either bring your right hand to your left elbow or reach your right hand behind your back up towards your shoulder blades. And again, use the breath to expand your chest, always opening your shoulders and your chest. And release your hands to your lap. Now take a deep breath and lift your arms up overhead. And when you exhale, interlace your fingers and bring them behind your head, elbows extended out. Slowly begin to rotate at your torso, like at maybe mid-rib cage. bending all the way to the right, and then curving your head down towards your lap, and then all the way to the left, and then as far back as is comfortable for you, making a big circle with your elbows and head. Go very slowly and breathe very deeply. And switch directions. Come back to center, dropping your hands to your knees, shaking your shoulders out a little bit. Now let's move on to all fours in tabletop position. Bring your hands under your shoulders and your knees slightly wider than your hips, but lined up with your hips. Now take a deep breath in, lifting your chin and your tailbone towards the ceiling, dropping your stomach towards the mat. Take some deep breaths here. And now on your next exhale, tuck your chin and your tailbone underneath your body and push your back up towards the sky. And on your next inhale, come back to cow pose, lifting your chin and your tailbone up towards the sky. And then exhale, tucking your chin and tailbone into cat pose. Move through this at your own pace, following your breath and making a point to make your breath super slow. Start to make big circles with your spine, as if you are jumping rope around a center line, or you're scraping a barrel with your rib cage. First bringing your body all the way to the right, then your chest towards the ground, then to the left side of the mat, then hunching up towards the sky, making a complete circle with your chest. And then switch directions. And then find stillness back in tabletop position. Spread your knees as wide as your mat and then sink your hips back to your feet. Drop your head to the mat and come into child's pose, reaching your arms as far forward as you can. Take a few really deep breaths here, expanding your chest, trying to fill the gap between your body and the mat. Lift your head off the mat and come back into tabletop position, bringing your knees together under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Now taking a deep breath in, lift your right arm and your left leg up into the sky and try to make a straight line between the two. Take some deep breaths here, keeping your hips aligned, pointing down towards the mat. Now on your next inhale, lift your hand and your foot up towards the sky and exhale your knee and your elbow together under your body. Inhale, extending your arm and leg again. Exhale, knee and elbow together under the body. And move at your own pace through this, following your breath. And release back into all fours in tabletop position. Take a deep breath, wag your tail a little bit. And then finding stillness back at center. Inhale, lifting your left leg straight back as far as you can and up towards the sky. And then exhale your toes all the way to the left side so they're in line with your hips and tap the ground. Inhale, lift your leg back up. Exhale your foot all the way to the right side as far as you can. Inhale, straight back again. Exhale your foot all the way to the left. And move at your own pace, moving from the left to the right. And next time your foot is all the way to the left, plant it down and try to get your sole of the foot on the ground. Bring your hands so that they're under your shoulders. And now let's move through cat-cow again. Take a deep breath in, lifting your tailbone and your chin. And then exhale, chin and tailbone tucked. Move through this at your own pace. And find stillness back in center, keeping your left foot out. Walk your hands forward and then drop your elbows to the mat. And you can put your forehead on the mat or on a block here. Keep your hips aligned over your knee and take a couple deep breaths here, lifting your tailbone up towards the sky. Lift your head and walk your hands back to under your shoulders, and then bring your left knee back next to your right knee. Now taking a deep breath in, lift your left arm and your right leg up towards the sky so that they're in a straight line. Align your hips, both of them facing down. Take a couple deep breaths here. On your next inhale, lift your hand and foot up slightly, and then exhale your elbow and knee together under your body. Inhale, lifting them again. Exhale, elbow and knee under your body. And move at your own pace through this. Release back into tabletop position. Take a deep breath and wag your tail. Now deep breath in, lift your right leg straight back, and then exhale it over to the right, tapping the floor with your toe. Inhale straight back, exhale it over to the left, and move at your own pace. And then next time your foot's all the way to the right, plant your sole of your foot onto the ground. Bring your hands under your shoulders and begin your cat-cows, taking a deep breath in, lifting your chest and tailbone. Exhale, tailbone and chin tucked. Move through this at your own pace. And find stillness at center. Now walk your hands forward slightly and drop your elbows to the mat. Bring your head down to a block or the mat. And with your hips still aligned over your left knee, take some deep breaths here, lifting your tailbone up towards the sky. Lift your head and walk your hands back to under your chest, and then bring your right knee to next to your left. Now bring your knees completely together and sink your hips back over your feet and drop your head down to the mat for child's pose. Feel the compression in your hips and the release in your lower back. Take some nice slow breaths here. Lift your head and your hips, come back into tabletop position. Your knees under your hips are a little bit wider. Now taking a deep breath in, lift your right hand all the way up towards the ceiling and turn your gaze to look at your fingertips. And then exhale, bringing your right hand under your body to the left side and dropping your right ear towards the mat. Using your left hand, push gently against the ground so you feel a nice deep stretch in your shoulder. And then breathe deeply and slowly here. Push yourself up and come back into tabletop position. Now take a deep breath in, lifting your left hand up towards the sky, and then exhale your hand under your body over to the right side, dropping your left ear to the mat, and pushing gently against the ground with your right hand. Take a few deep breaths here. Push back up into tabletop position and take a nice breath and wag your tail here. Now bring your right foot up in between your hands and line your knee up so that it is directly over your ankle. You may need to scoot around a little bit and point both of your hip joints forward, and then placing both of your hands to the outside of your right foot. Push against the ground. You can put some blocks down here. Push against the ground and lift your chest forward. Take a deep breath, creating expansion here. Straighten your right leg and push your hips back and let your body fall over your right leg. Breathe deeply here, creating space in your body and also making sure that you're not tensing up in this deep stretch. On your next inhale, bend your right leg and push your hips forward once again. And bring your hands up to your knees, lifting your chest up and pulling your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Take a couple deep breaths here. On your next exhale, straighten your right leg, pushing your hips all the way back. Place your hands on the ground and start to make circles with your foot. Big circles, so you're flexing your foot completely and then eventually pointing it. Letting your head drop towards your leg. And then reverse directions. Plant your right foot down, bend your right leg, and take a deep breath. Come all the way up, lifting your arms up overhead. And when you exhale, keep your arms here, but bring your shoulder blades together and down your spine. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can reach all the way to the right with your arms, turning your gaze to the left. Bring yourself back upright if you took the bend, and then bring your hands down to your chest in prayer pose. Lower your body over your right thigh, and then bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and push against it so that your chest is facing the right side of your mat. If you'd like, you can tuck your toes and lift your knee for an even deeper stretch. Drop your back knee if you lifted it, and release your arms to the ground, and then straighten your right leg once again, dropping your body over your right leg. On your next inhale, bend your right leg and bring your hands all the way up, lifting your chest with them. And then exhale, sweeping your hands back behind you and straightening your right leg, bringing your body close to your thigh. Inhale once again, forward, sweeping your arms all the way up. And then exhale, straightening your right leg and sweeping your hands back behind you. And move through this at your own pace. The next time you sweep your arms all the way up, stay here, and then drop your hands down to the mat and step your right foot all the way to the right side of your mat. Planting your hands firmly on the ground. You can stay right here, or you can put your hands on some blocks. You could put your head on the ground if you want to. Find your best stretch here, and then breathe deeply so you're not all tense. And now walk your right foot to the left side of your mat and tuck it down towards your left hip. And then lower your right knee to the mat and come into pigeon pose. You can walk your hands forward and drop your elbows to the mat, put your head on a block or on the mat, and hold here for a couple deep breaths. Lift yourself back up and walk your hands back towards your body, planting your hands firmly on the ground. Tuck your left toes and lift your left knee, and then bring your right knee back to tabletop position. Drop your left knee and then wag your tail here in tabletop. Now bring your left foot between your hands and line your knee up so that it's directly over your ankle. Plant both of your hands on either side of your left foot, and then push your hips forward and lift your chest up. Take a deep breath and hold here for a little bit. On your next exhale, straighten your left leg and push your hips back over your right foot. Drop your head and body towards your left leg and breathe deeply and slowly here, making sure that both hip joints are facing forward. On your next inhale, bend your left leg and bring your hips forward. And this time, bring your hands to your knees and lift your chest, dropping your hips towards the front of your mat. Breathe deeply. On your next exhale, straighten your left leg and send your hips back. Bring your body over your left leg and make big circles with your foot. Plant your left foot down on the ground and bend your left knee, bringing your hips forward. Take a deep breath in and lift your arms all the way up, turning your gaze to look at your fingertips. And then if you'd like a deeper stretch, you can lean to the left and turn your gaze to the right. Bring your arms back up to center, and then bring your hands down to your chest in prayer pose. Lower your body towards your left thigh, and then tuck your right elbow on the left side of your knee and push against your knee so that your body opens up to the left side. If you'd like a deeper stretch here, you can tuck your back toe and lift your knee and hold here for a couple deep breaths. Drop your right knee if it was raised, and then release your hands to the ground. Walk your left foot to the left side of your mat and plant your hands firmly in the mat, and then find your stretch here. You can lower yourself, you can put your hands on some blocks. Breathe deeply. Slowly walk your foot to the right side of the mat and towards your right hip, and lower your knee down to the mat. And you can walk your hands forward and drop your elbows down to the ground and put your head on a block or on the mat. We'll rest here for a little bit. Lift yourself up and walk your hands back towards your body. And then, keeping your left leg where it is, swing your right leg around to the front and come into a seated position. Bring the soles of your feet together and drop your knees open. You can have your feet wherever feels good for you, either close to your body or extended out a little bit. Grab your hands around your feet. Take a deep breath in, pushing your chest forward as you inhale. And slowly walk your hands forward and drop your head. Just let it hang and place your hands facing up. You can put some blocks under your head or under your knees. Slowly roll your body up until you're sitting upright. And then extend your feet forward and straighten your legs. Take a deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, grabbing as far down as you can and pulling so that way you can feel a nice stretching along your spine. And let gravity pull your head down. Slowly roll yourself to upright, one vertebra at a time. And now grab or bring your right knee into your chest and grab your right foot and put it into your left elbow. And then wrap your arms around your leg and rock back and forth like you're cradling a baby with your leg. Gently place your right foot next to your left hip and then line your knees up so they're on top of each other. Take a deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, letting your hands land wherever they land and gravity pull your head down. Slowly roll up to upright. Now plant your right foot down on the mat next to your left knee. And then hug your knee into your chest and reach back with your right hand behind you and push against the ground so that you can open your body up to the right side of your mat. Turn your gaze behind you and take a couple deep breaths. Release, coming back to center. Walk your right foot out next to your left and then take a deep breath in, lifting your arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. grabbing your legs or your toes and dropping your head. Slowly roll yourself to upright. And then bring your left foot into your right elbow and cradle your shin like a baby, rocking back and forth. Gently place your left foot next to your right hip and then your left knee on top of your right knee. Take a deep breath in, lifting your hands up overhead. And exhale, forward fold, grabbing whatever your hands can reach and dropping your head towards your left knee. Slowly roll yourself to upright. Plant your left foot outside of your right knee, hug your left knee into your chest, and then reach your left hand back behind you and push against the ground to twist open to the left side of your mat. Take a deep breath. And release, turning back forward. Untangle your legs, put them out in front of you, lean back on your hands and shake your legs out a little bit. Slowly roll onto your back, bringing the soles of your feet flat on the ground and your knees pointing up, your hands just by your sides. Walk your feet out to the outer edges of your mat and then drop your knees together. Now begin to windshield wiper your knees, first dropping them all the way over to the right and then all the way over to the left. Bring them back to center and hug your knees into your chest. Using your hands on your knees, drop your knees open towards the ground to either side, and then slowly begin to reach your left pinky toe towards the ground. Once it taps the ground, do the same on the right side, coming back to center and reaching your right pinky toe towards the ground. Then move back and forth through this very slowly and at your own pace. Come back to center and extend your left leg out so it's flat on the ground and bring your right knee into your right shoulder. With your right hand, grab your knee and drop it over to the ground on the right side of your body. And then with your left hand, push down on your left hip. Bring your right knee back towards your chest, and then with your left hand, guide your right knee all the way to the ground on the left side of you. And then reach your right hand out to the right side and turn your gaze to look at your fingertips. Squeeze your right knee back into your chest and then release it down next to your left leg. Pull your left knee into your chest and squeeze it as much as you can into your left armpit. Then using your left hand, guide your left knee over to the left side and use your right hand to hold down your hip on the right side. back into your chest, and then use your right hand to guide it all the way to the right side, and extend your left arm out to the left and turn your gaze to look at your left fingertips. Squeeze your knee into your chest and then release it out. So both legs are straight ahead, flat on the ground, and release your hands to either side, palms facing up. We'll come into our final resting pose, Savasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And reach your hands up overhead and point your toes downward, pulling your toes and your fingers away from each other. Take a deep breath. Then roll onto your side in the fetal position, whichever side. Using your top arm, push yourself up into a seated position. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Place your hands on your knees and take a deep breath, expanding your chest outward. And then on the exhale, bring your shoulder blades together and down your spine. One more deep breath, lifting your hands up overhead. And then on the exhale, bring your palms together, heart center. Another deep breath in, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, palms together, heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe.